Today we're gonna talk about dig day, which is really the most exciting day of the entire pool process. But to talk about dig day, we gotta talk about what is going to happen on dig day and what happens with specific types of pools. We're gonna talk about a couple specific types of pools, those being the concrete pools, which is your Shotcrete or Gunite pools, and your fiberglass pools. So let's dive on in. Let's go ahead and start with your Gunite or Shotcrete pool. These are your pools that are, typically speaking, highly customized. So what will happen on dig day is, first of all, we're gonna have those plans well in place. Before we take a single scoop of dirt out of that yard, we are going to lay out the entirety of the pool. Permits, where required, should be in place at that point in time. This is where we're going to mark where electrical lines are going to be coming from, where your skimmers are, where the lights are on the pool. And what we will typically do for a Gunite or Shotcrete pool is we're going to dig that pool larger than the pool is going to finish to water line, because you'll typically have 8 inches to a foot of extra space around that pool that is going to be filled in by that Shotcrete or Gunite. Now, what we like to do is, once that pool is painted out, we are going to walk the entire pool. We're gonna talk about the steps, we're gonna talk about the depths in that pool, and make sure that you love it. Because once that pool is dug, it is a little bit permanent. And as my dad says, a jackhammer is a terrible eraser, so we wanna make sure that we get it done right the first time. But we should have discussed many things at this point in time, the waterfalls as to where they're going, and what you're going to see is at the access points of how we're getting in the yard. Now, you've got a couple different types of things that we can do with the dirt. We've got a dirt on site dig, which is where we take the dirt from the excavation, actually use it for landscape features, leveling out concrete or things of that nature. Or if we've got a smaller location, smaller backyard, we will take that dirt out. Typical excavations. This is if we've got nice soil, softer soil. Those can actually, on your average pool, which is an approximate 400 square foot pool, can usually be done in a day. However, if you hit rock, if you hit granite, if you hit lava cap, if you hit caliche, all bets are off. This is oftentimes when we do a dig, we will do what is known as a double handle dig, where we'll have a skid loader actually moving the dirt and an excavator actually digging the dirt or excavating out the dirt from that point. And we'll usually bring a hydraulic hammer with us to make that happen. That right there is what will happen on your Gunite dig day. Now let's talk about fiberglass. Fiberglass is very interesting because you're accomplishing so many phases quickly. So with fiberglass, we will have pre-measured up that yard very specific to that fiberglass shell. Because what is key here is to get that fiberglass shell to sit perfectly level within the location that we have dug on out. So oftentimes what we will have is we'll actually have templates. Large tarps will lay out. The reason that we do this is, guess what? Fiberglass shells of the same model, they tend to be exactly the same. So by us having this tarp template, what we're able to do is lay it down perfectly in the ground and know every metric that we need to hit, whether it's freeform or whether it is geometric. We'll then excavate the pool on out, and what you're gonna do on that point in time is, depending on what is needed in the soil, you may be putting some sort of a gravel or something under the pool to help it sit and level out at that point in time. Now, where this gets very exciting is on the fiberglass pool, the excavation is done prior to the shell getting there. Now, when the shell does get there, because all of this will traditionally happen in about a 1 or 2 week point in time, where we're digging that hole out. Once that hole is dug out, then we're checking and making sure that it is perfect for that fiberglass shell that's gonna come in. Then we go to the set. And that is such a very important process, and that is somewhat tied into the excavation process for the fiberglass. But the great part about it is really getting to that set should only take about a week to 2 weeks max.